One of the biggest challenges with a lot of prophetic ministers today is that they confuse the work for the Lord with their work with the Lord. It's a very big problem. You see, they are working for God, but they are not working with God. And that's a very big problem, because when you are working for God and you are not working with God, very soon the flesh will take over, ambition will take over, and you get yourself into a lot of trouble, because it is your work with God, like Abraham, that prepares you to be able to work for God effectively. You see, so there must be that balance, that while you are going for him, you have been with him. While you are going for him, you have been with him. You stay with him as you go for him. You stay with him. You see, Jesus strike that balance perfectly well in his earthly ministry, that in the day he's working for God, in the night he's working with God. He's alone with God, spending time with God, receiving instruction. You see, beware of the danger of running ministry mechanically. Beware of the danger of running ministry mechanically. As a matter of fact, if you are not careful, you can fall into that trap, and your ministry become mechanical, that it becomes all about protocols, structures, systems, patterns, and there's no room for the Holy Spirit to get involved. A lot of ministries today are shut the Holy Spirit out. That even when the Holy Spirit says this is what should be done, they say it's against the way we are doing it. And this is the reason why you see many ministry revival dies. Why? Because the moment the Holy Spirit becomes mechanized, revival dies. Because the Holy Spirit cannot be mechanized. The Holy Spirit is very spontaneous. Although he has a pattern and a system, but yet in his administration, he brings this flair every point in time, every season. Study revival for the past 50 years, you realize that at every 10 years maximum, the Holy Spirit brings new faces of the same revival. He brings new systems for the same revival, new patterns, the same revival. All over the world today, there is a prayer revival going on, which was not like that 10 years ago. You see, it's different methodology, but the same spirit of revival that is at work. So we cannot mechanize the Holy Spirit. We cannot put him in a box. You see that now? So that is one of the things that helps to be able to be a partaker of revival. We must work with him, not just work for him. It's in the place of working with God, that is where we find out the will and purpose of God for the season. There's something called the mind of God pattern. There's something called the mind of God pattern. The same God that said, Joseph, I said, take the boy and take him to Egypt, is the same God that asked him to return back to Israel. You know why? Because God can say a thing now, and that thing he said is for a season. And after another season, he says another thing, and it may look as if it's a reversal or another direction. What I'm trying to say is that God can say to you, go to Egypt. And after a while, God says, leave Egypt. And if you have lost your ability to work with God, you will remain in Egypt thinking you are still in the will of God, not knowing that God has left you there. Because you have to understand that God is not static. No, sir. God is not static. The cloud of glory moves. If you don't move with the cloud of glory, the heat of the wilderness is going to scorch you. You see, we have to understand the way God works. We have to understand the way God works. And that is the reason why you see the template of working with the Holy Spirit is called sensitivity. Yes, sir. There is no way you know the Holy Spirit to an extent that you say you don't need sensitivity daily. You need sensitivity daily. The reason is because the Holy Spirit is a syllabus that cannot be exhausted. What you think you know about him is meant to prepare you for another level of knowledge. And so you say, I know the way the Holy Spirit behaves. That thing you know is meant to prepare you to know the next pattern of the Holy Spirit. There is a progressiveness in our working with the Spirit of God, and that's the reason why sensitivity is the operational system. That is, you must stay sensitive so that as he begins to move, you can move with him. As he begins to speak, you can understand what he's saying. Working with God is very important, just as working for God is important.